All right, welcome back, Hononegah, Algebra 1. 8.3 day 2 notes. So we're going back to standard form again. Standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. So that's what that looks like for standard form. And some of the questions that we talked about yesterday, just going over those again. The parabola goes up if the a value is positive. So it goes up if it's positive. The parabola will go down if the a value is negative. Now, the y-intercept is always 0, c. I'm not a big fan of that question. Here's the big one. In this form, that is the one formula that you need to know, the axis of symmetry formula. So x is equal to negative b over 2a. That answer helps me establish my xy chart and helps me establish my vertex. So whatever that answer is will be where the vertex is going to be located in my XY chart. This one, they give me a picture, so I can answer the questions pretty easily without knowing any formulas. So the vertex is the lowest point, so I'm looking at this particular picture, and 1, 2 is the lowest point of the graph, so that's the vertex. The axis of symmetry is x equals 1, so the equation of the axis of symmetry is always the x value of the vertex, and the y-intercept is always 0, c. So whether you do the equation or look at the picture, you're talking about the y-intercept being at 0, 5. Next one, it is going by 2's up and down, so there's a lot of people that might get this one wrong. The vertex from the picture is at 2, negative 2. Right here. The y-intercept, again, from the equation or from the picture, the y-intercept is at 0, 6. And then the axis of symmetry is always x equals the x of the vertex. Now it's not so easy on the next one because they're going to not give me a picture anymore and they want you to find those questions. So I'm going to write them down. Vertex, axis of symmetry, so the equation of the axis of symmetry, and the y-intercept. Let's start with the y-intercept because that's actually the easiest one. It's always 0 and then the c value. And since there is no c value, then it's 0, 0. So the y-intercept is at 0, 0. The formula that you need, x equals negative b over 2a. So x equals negative b over 2a. So this is not very nice. The equation of the axis of symmetry in this case is negative 2, 6, which reduces to negative 1/3. So that's the answer for the equation of the axis of symmetry. The vertex is negative 1/3, and then I got to actually plug in negative 1/3 to find the y value of the vertex. So 3 times negative 1/3 squared, 2 times negative 1/3. So this is positive 2/3, negative, or positive, sorry, 3/9. So kind of coming up with a common denominator, I'm going to leave that as, or this is then positive 1/3. So 3/3, which is just 1. Next one, a little bit easier, a little better question. Vertex, equation of the axis of symmetry, and then the y-intercept. If you want to go straight to the y-intercept first, it's always 0, c. Equation, x is equal to negative b over 2a. So I get x to be equaling negative 3. That means the vertex is at negative 3. And then I plug negative 3 in for both x's. So you're going to plug those in. So negative 3 squared plus 6 times negative 3 plus 5. And so I get negative 3, negative 4. Last one, the only reason why this one's more complicated is because there's a fraction involved. Vertex, equation of the axis of symmetry, and then the y-intercept. Again, the y-intercept might be the easiest question if you know that it's 0, c. Equation of the axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. So I end up getting negative 7 over negative 1, which is 7. Which isn't very nice when you plug this in. It's negative 1/2 times 7 squared plus 7 times 7 minus 4. And so I end up getting negative 24.5 plus 49 minus 4. So positive 24.5 minus 4 is 20.5. When you're finding the vertex, that is also known as the maximum or minimum. Then the y value of the vertex is considered the maximum or minimum value. So if I have a parabola that goes down, it has a max, and then whatever the point is of the vertex, this is referred to as the maximum value. So the vertex basically tells me a lot about the parabola in that it gives me the maximum value, it gives me the axis of symmetry, it helps me find the range. So if the parabola goes upward, it's got a minimum, and then when you find the vertex, that is the minimum value. So the y value of the vertex will be the minimum value. So let's do this now. Tell whether the function has a max or min. If the a value is positive, I know it's an upward parabola and therefore having a min. Okay, it's got a bottom. Now, find the vertex. X equals negative b over 2a. So I end up getting negative a half. Plug negative a half back into the equation. So now you're talking about 8 times negative a half squared minus 8 times negative a half plus 6. So positive 4 would be positive 10. Positive 4. So I get 14. So it has a minimum value at 14. And I apologize, when I looked at it, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not right. It's actually 12. A negative a half squared is a fourth times 2, so that would be actually 12 is the minimum value. So I apologize for that. Next one, it's got a negative. So therefore, it's going down. Therefore, having a max. So there's one part of the question is max or min. The second part of the question is what is the actual max or min value? Negative b over 2a. So now this gets into a little bit of fractional work. Negative 3 divided by negative a half is positive 6. Plug positive 6 back in. I end up getting positive 6 times 3 would be 18. 36 divided by be negative 9. So I end up getting positive 10 is the correct answer there. So maximum value of 10. Word problems. So now we're going to start throwing some word problems at you, and you're definitely going to need to grab a calculator of some type. Suspension cables on 2 towers of the Mackinac Bridge in Michigan form a parabola modeled by, and there's your formula, where x and y is measured in feet. What is the height of the cable at its lowest point? They want to know what the vertex is. That's what they want. So anytime you're asking for the maximum point or the minimum point, they want to know the vertex. So negative b over 2a, and that is not a very friendly fraction, so I'm going to go ahead and type that in my calculator at the same time you are typing it in yours. 0.37 divided by 2 times, and I have to put that in parentheses, so 2 times, let me do that first, 2 times 0.0000098, so we're talking about 0.37 over 0.000196. And so 0.37 divided by 0.00196 equals 188.7. And I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. So that's the x value of the vertex. Now, plug that back in. So type this in, 0.00098, 188.78 squared minus 0.37 times 188.78 plus 552. So I'm going to type that in as well. So 0.000098 times 188.78 parentheses squared minus 0.37 times 188.78 and then plus 552. So the answer here is 485.64. So if they ask you, this is the vertex right here, and I made a mistake, so I feel so bad. It's actually, I'm going to have to go back here. I apologize. I actually, and I'll show you right where I made my mistake. So again, I apologize for that. I didn't divide by 0.000196. So 0.37 divided by 0.000196 should have been 1887.76. So that changes everything. So when I plug in 1887.76 now into my equation. So I'm going to type this in. I'm going to tell you what to type. 0.00098, 188 times 1887.76 parentheses squared minus 0.37 times 1,887.76 plus 552. So this will give me a better answer, 202.76. So at 1887, so right here on the picture, and I should use a different color, that's the lowest point on the graph at 200, or lowest point of the bridge at 202.76 feet. I apologize for the mistake there. Hopefully it didn't mess you up too much. Group of friends launching a water balloon. The function represents the height of the first balloon. The height of the second balloon is graphed. Which water balloon went higher? So I'm going to look at the first or the second one here, and it looks like it's approximately right here, and it's going 50, 75, 100, 125. So we're looking at probably about a 130 situation. So 130 going up there. Now let's look at the first balloon. Negative b over 2a. I get 5. Plug 5 back into the equation. So now, negative 16 times 5 squared plus 80 times 5 plus 5. And again, I apologize. I'm making way too many mistakes here. Negative 80 divided by negative 32. So negative 80 divided by negative 32 is 2.5. So that changes everything. So when I plug 2.5 in, what is my height? So I end up getting negative 16 times 2.5 squared plus 80 times 2.5 times, or plus, sorry, 5. And so I get 105. So which balloon went higher? The second balloon went a little higher than the first balloon. Hit the pause button. You try this. Tell whether the function has a maximum or minimum, then find the maximum or minimum value. All right, welcome back. So we got an upward parabola because the a value is positive, therefore having a minimum. So there's the first answer, minimum. Now, negative b over 2a. So I get 3. Plug 3 back in. Negative 12. So the minimum value, even though the vertex is at 3, negative 12, the minimum value is at negative 12. And so now, going all the way back to the beginning here, this is another worksheet day. Please, I apologize if this particular video was not my best, but if you have any questions, please make sure you talk to your teacher, and good luck.